Extortion crimes continue to rise across the Bay Area. New this morning, St. Pete detectives are telling us it's one of their top priorities to catch these suspects.
If you're not familiar, sextortion is when a suspect convinces a person to send inappropriate photos and then threatens to release the photos unless the victim sends money. It's a crime that targets both children and adults, and it's happening a lot in the Bay Area. Let's get right out to ABC Action News reporter KEELY McCormick. And KEELY, you've been digging into this issue. What are detectives telling you about what's happening?
The detectives tell me it's a really serious crime that's on the rise both in the Bay Area and across the country. With that in mind, I reached out to a local victim who shares how severe the emotional impacts are on these victims.
If I didn't give him money or if I shorted him, that's when it was, I'm sending these to your parents. I'm sending these to your kids. What do you think they're going to say? What do you think they're going to do? He did end up sending one picture to my father, which was traumatizing to say the least.
TORRIE Walters is one of many victims of sextortion. She tells me that trauma becomes a part of you, and the emotional impact of sextortion weighs on you for years.
My coworkers are going to find out. My friends are going to find out. I'm going to lose everyone. And then that spirals to, well, if I have no one, should I just not be here anymore? Should I just end my life? So it's life or death with stuff like that.
But that's why she's sharing her story in hopes of raising awareness and letting other victims know they're not alone.
I'm not saying it's easy to overcome, because it's not. It's probably one of the hardest things I've ever dealt with.
Walter's advice is call the police immediately if you realize you may be a victim of sextortion. I spent some time with Detective Henry Snowden at St. Pete PD. He tells me these types of crimes are on the rise across the Bay Area, targeting both adults and children. In the last year, Detective Snowden says they saw about a 67% increase in sextortion crimes targeting kids and around 47% increase in adults. He says this is one of their top priorities to catch those suspects. Are those suspects hard to find?
Yes. And when I say that is because a lot of these suspects are clever. They use different names. They use different pictures. Some of them may not be in the city. Some of them may not be in the state.
The crimes are committed online, which complicates the investigation. But Detective Snowden assured me they've caught several suspects and are working hard to find the others. In the meantime, Detective Snowden says have your guard up when talking to people online.
Don't give them your phone numbers. Don't send pictures. Don't fall for the trap of being extorted. Just monitor what your kids are doing.
He says a lot of the crimes are committed on Snapchat, dating apps, and gaming platforms. So I asked a local therapist how you can protect your children from these type of crimes. She says to have an open and transparent conversation with your kids and let them know there may be people online using fake photos or pretending to be someone else.
Starting really young too, so that their children are aware that these are conversations that we can have and it's safe to talk about these things.
She says you can also set up parental controls on your kids' phones and computers, and Detective Snowden says you should monitor their devices. We have more information and resources available for you on our website at abcactionnews.com. Reporting live in St. Pete, KEELY McCormick, ABC Action News.